All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Heat 1 will see Jackson McLean and Dean Buck on the front row, Brad Ronning and Gerald Thanos Poole on the second row, Kirk Stankiewicz and Vern Spring on the third row, John Barry, Brian Hewitt on the fourth, Paul Jr. and Richie Joplin round out the field. Steven Seams predicting Chance Maddock for a win in the Tour Mods. He is kind of overdue and has had a few close calls with Victory Lane recently. All the drivers getting stacked up and ready to go for heat number 1. Pace car will drop in at the entrance to turn 3. This is not a track you want to have to go to pit road on under green flag conditions. It is a very long and closed off pit road. Pace car dives in. Brad Ronning, Dean Buck on the front row out of turn 4. Green flag flies. They are down and away at Myrtle Beach. And already 3 wide into turn 1. That did not take long. And 3 wide still coming out of turn 2. They back out to 2 wide for the moment. Brad Ronning out front. Kirk Stankiewicz currently in second. John Barry in third. Gerald Poole in fourth. Everybody stacked up. Whoa! John Barry a little slow into turn 1 or into turn 3. Paul almost got his back bumper, had to check up. Richie Joplin has taken advantage of that checkup and shot up into third. And Richie underneath John Barry for second already tonight. And yes, folks, Richie did say before the race he was slow here tonight. Brian Hewitt has gone around back behind. Dean Buck is also had a problem. Hewitt has managed to recover. It looked like he might have gotten a turtle and a bump in turn 1. Oh, Ronning went way up the track. Richie Joplin now has the lead. Ronning back to second. John Barry and Brian Hewitt problems back behind. Richie Joplin in the lead, 3 to go in Heat 1. Hey, good evening, Brandon. How are you? Paul Jr. now up to second. Gerald Poole holds on to third. As they get 2 to go with Richie having a big lead, 2.3 seconds. Brad Ronning, whoa, he is loose in 1 and 2. And still having trouble getting it out of turn 2. Still holds on to fourth, but Kirk Stankiewicz is coming as Richie Joplin gets the white flag one more time around for Heat 1. Richie has come from behind, started in 10th, and he will pull off the win for Heat 1. Paul Jr. coming home in second. Gerald Thanos Poole finishes third. Well, Brandon, I hope you get to feeling better, buddy, and we do hope to see you in the Tour Mods. Richie Joplin pulls off the win in Heat 1. And on to Heat number 2. Joe Lutz and Zach Price on the front row. Justin Schultz and John Brancaccio of the second row. Andrew Thornton, Scott Snodgrass on the third row. Zachary Meade, Ryan McDaniel of the fourth row. Brandon Keiger rounds out the field for Heat 2. Hey, good evening, Camshaft. How are you, buddy? Chance Maderick predicting Zach Meade to the front. Joe Lutz has dropped to the tail end of the field. Put Zachary Price and Justin Schultz up front. And one thing we saw in Heat 1 that we're going to see here again in Heat 2 and definitely see in the feature tonight, this track definitely puts on one heck of a show. It is close, tight racing all the way around. Here they come through 3 and 4. Green flag flies. They are underway for Heat 2. The inside line had a checkup. Andrew Thornton had to get out of the throttle in a big way. And Zachary Meade is sneaking by everybody on the bottom. You may have called it, Chance. Zachary Meade is going for the lead. Steven, there's still the Tour Mods to go tonight, buddy. Brandon Keiger now up into second, battling for the lead. Both Zachary Meade and Brandon Keiger started way back in the field, but after just 2 laps, they're battling for the lead, and right now, Keiger out ahead. Here comes Thornton. As we've got cars around back behind, Schultz got turned around. Keiger now clear of Meade out front. Andrew Thornton underneath for second. Keiger just set the fastest lap of Heat 2 as John Brancaccio and Ryan McDaniel have both had problems. Whoa, that was close. No cautions in the heat does mean there is oftentimes a bit of a surprise on track. Three laps to go in Heat 2. Keiger out front. John Brancaccio and Joe Lutz both on pit road. Andrew Thornton in second, but he is gaining no ground. Keiger continues to set hot laps. Two laps to go for Brandon Keiger. He is on fire here tonight as we've got one of the drivers, John Brancaccio, coming back off pit road. Definitely a wild start to the night here. White flag one more time around for Heat 2. And this may be Brandon Keiger's first ever Heat win. Here he comes out of turn 4. Keiger wins Heat 2. Andrew Thornton came in second. Zachary Meade held on for third. And folks, it's time for the main event for the Street Stocks. Riley Duncan and David Lux will have the front row. Richie Joplin, Brandon Keiger on the second row. Paul Jr. and Andrew Thornton on the third row. Gerald Poole and Zachary Meade have the fourth row. Brad Ronning and Scott Snodgrass rounding out the top 10. Kirk Stankiewicz and Zach Price starting 11th and 12th. Vern Spring in 13th. Ryan McDaniel in 14th. The Wonder Kid Jackson McLean in 15th. Justin Schultz in 16th. Dean Buck 17th. John Brancaccio in 18th. Brian Hewitt, Joe Lux, and John Barry round out the field. Everybody gets stacked up, ready to go. I'm thinking I should probably roll my oxygen tank over here and have it ready tonight. Riley Duncan on the pole again tonight. The points leader has had a very, very dominant season. He's had 2 wins, 5 top 5s in 6 races. Richie Joplin also has 2 wins and 5 top 5s. Keeping them fairly close in points, but Riley has definitely picked up the higher amount of bonus points throughout the season, keeping him out front. David Lux, starting on the high side, comes into tonight 5th in points. He's been making up ground all season long. Here we go, the feature underway. Green flag is in the air at Myrtle Beach. Through 1 and 2, saw a lot of door banging right off the start. So far, everybody makes it. Riley clears into the lead. Richie gets a little loose coming into 4. Keiger may get a run underneath into 1. Richie gets loose, he comes up, Lux is involved, caution is out, and still cars getting caught up. Holy crap, that was the never-ending wreck. First caution of the night caught Richie Joplin, Vern Spring, Brian Hewitt, and David Lux, as well as Zachary Meade. David Lux up on the high side. Richie underneath, gets loose, comes up, collects Lux. Meade had nowhere to go. But Richie Joplin, after he got sideways, ended up going down the track. Thornton gets him. Gerald Poole gets him. Vern Spring gets him. About half the field found Richie Joplin. Well, that is a wild start. Hey, good evening, Jay Salden. Welcome. Jay cheering on Schultz and Price here tonight. Riley Duncan out front. Brandon Keiger now to second. A few drivers really made up a lot of ground. John Barry currently has made up the most. He is up 10 spots into 11th. Justin Schultz up 6 spots into 10th. Jackson McLean up 6 spots into 9th. And Ryan McDaniel up 7 spots into 7th. We definitely saw a lot of cars getting loose in 1 and 2 in practice. And starting out with cars getting loose in the feature. Hopefully they can hold on to the back ends this time. Here we go down the front stretch. Green flag back in the air. Off into 1 and 2. So far, so good up front. Scott Snodgrass now also on the move, up into 6th. And a shiny new car for Scott tonight as well. John Barry's been on the move as he goes underneath Hewitt. Barry now up 12 spots into 9th. Riley Duncan out front just set the fastest lap of the feature so far. But Brandon Keiger right on his bumper. Justin Schultz has had a problem back behind, no caution yet. Dean Buck has also had a problem, and the caution now flies again. See if we can see what happened with Schultz and Buck. There's Justin Schultz coming out of turn 4. Way loose off into the grass. He did eventually get it back on track. Then a moment later, Dean Buck goes on. Oh! Dean gets a big hit from behind. Wow. Looks like John Brancaccio got into him. No, it was not Brancaccio's Joe Lux that got into Buck there. Well, folks, if it's this exciting when the street stocks are out here, just imagine what it's going to be like here shortly when the tour mods are out here. And if you like the doubleheader on Monday, tune in tomorrow night for the tripleheader. 1 dirt, 2 asphalt races, and a whole lot of excitement. Lights are out as they stack back up front. Riley Duncan, Brandon Keiger still in the front row. Paul Jr., Andrew Thornton on the second. Gerald Poole, Scott Snodgrass, Ryan McDaniel, Jackson McLean, John Barry, and Brian Hewitt round out the top 10. Justin Schultz has dropped back to 21st after that incident. That hurts. Here they come out of turn 4. Green flag flies. Riley clears once again through 1 and 2. Top 3 single file. Andrew Thornton sends it underneath for 3rd. Gerald Poole back behind in 5th. Scott now, oh, big wreck, front stretch. Caution is out. Cars are going everywhere. Scott Snodgrass, Jackson McLean, Ryan McDaniel, all involved. Let's see what happened. Taking a look first at Ryan as they come out of turn 4. Oh, Ryan and Scott just barely tap. Ryan goes around, gets the inside wall. Well, just a little tap, but it was enough to send Scott around. Jackson had nowhere to go. And a bunch of cars torn up now. Chance, I'll try and go back to it after the race, buddy. This isn't as easy as it looks. Alright, everybody stacking back up for the restart. They'll get the one to green. On the move, Brian Hewitt now at 13 spots into 6th. Zachary Mead up 7 spots. Up to 7th. John Brancaccio now up 8 spots into 10th. Joe Lutz up into 11th. Zachary Price currently in 12th. Jackson McLean back on the lead lap. Let's not go crazy there, Chance. Here we go. Pace car dives in. Riley Duncan once again in control of the restart. And here they come. Green flag back in the air. Been a bit bumpy out there so far tonight. Will the guys settle down for a couple of laps? Definitely quite a few tore up race cars out there, and Scott got banged around coming out of 1 and 2. He goes up the track in 3. Oh, we've got one car, Justin Schultz, hard into the wall in turn 2. And man, that looked rough. There's Justin in the middle as they come down. Oh, off into 1. He gets a bump from below, and wow, what a hit. See if we can get a look at this one from the blimp. Well, everybody was bobbling coming into turn 1. And man, that was one heck of a hard hit for Schultz. Unfortunately, had he not been involved in this caution, that would have put him back on the lead lap. And I do believe Schultz used his fast repair earlier. So if he brings it to pit road, it would have to be manually repaired, and he likely wouldn't get back out. He's got to try and limp it as far as the car will go and hope some of the other drivers drop out first. They will get the 1 to green this time by. Lights are out on the pace car. Just shy of halfway through the feature. But don't forget, folks, we've still got one more race to go tonight. After this race, they will put the street stocks up, unload the tour mods here at Myrtle Beach. Pace car dives to pit road. And here we go. Green flag back in the air, 25 to go. Barney the Flagman definitely earning his money tonight. Battle is on for 4th place as Paul Jr. trying to make the move on the high side on Gerald Poole. Andrew Thornton in 3rd, losing ground on the top 2 as Riley Duncan and Brandon Keiger start to pull away. Look, oh man, they are door banging through 3 and 4. These two have been banging off each other for a lap. And it looks like Gerald is finally in a clear. And look who's coming, Zach Mead. Mead trying to look underneath Paul to take 5th. Brian Hewitt and John Barry right behind. Hewitt now 12 spots. John Barry up 13. Ryan McDaniel has gone back to pit road. Vern Spring now up into 9th. John Brancaccio in 10th. Richie Joplin has made his way back to 11th. Joe Lux in 12th. Scott Snodgrass back up into 13th. David Lux in 14th. Jackson McLean in 15th. Kirk Stankiewicz in 16th. Zach Price in 17th. Dean Buck in 18th. And Brad Ronning in 19th. Justin Schultz has now moved up into 20th as Gerald Poole has had a problem. No caution yet. Let's see if we can see what happened to Thanos. We saw Gerald bumping and banging as they were racing. Oh, loose out of turn 2. Wow, close call for everybody back behind. And the caution is back out. Multiple cars involved. Looks like Joe Lutz involved, Paul Jr. and John Barry. Let's see what happened. Oh, and we talked about it earlier. The Turtles down on the inside. Paul Jr. appears to have got him and just lost grip. John Barry back behind, had nowhere to go. He gets clipped and sent up to the top. Hewitt also caught a piece of that. And back behind, Joe Lux trying to come through. Oh, he gets tapped from behind and slammed into the wall. And just discovered apparently Zach Mead's nickname is Heat Race Hero. We'll have to make a note of that for the future. Riley Duncan and Brandon Keiger out front have avoided all the chaos, but everybody from Andrew Thornton on back has been involved in something tonight at least once. The lights are out, everybody stacked up, ready to go. Pace car is in. Out of turn 4, Riley Duncan in control. Green flag is back in the air, 14 to go at Myrtle Beach. Riley once again clears traffic into turn 1. Richie Joplin has now made his way back to 5th, but Vern Spring right behind in 6th. And David Lux back up into 7th. Scott Snodgrass and Jackson McLean also on the move. McLean making the move up top. The Wonder Kid on the attack. Kirk Stankiewicz and Gerald Poole have had a problem. Kirk has gone to pit road. No caution yet. Let's see what happened. Oh, looks like Kirk may have had contact with John Barry that got him loose and sent him down to the inside to collect Gerald. Let's see, was there contact? Just a graze. I have to think that Stankiewicz was loose already. I don't think that little kiss would have been enough to send him around. Joe Lux has had a problem back behind as well. No caution yet for Joe. 9 laps to go. Kirk Stankiewicz is on his way back off pit road. Brandon Keiger still holds on to 2nd. Andrew Thornton in 3rd. Zachary Mead now in 4th. Richie Joplin in 5th. David Lux in 6th. Jackson McLean in 7th. Vern Spring in 8th. Scott Snodgrass in 9th. And Brian Hewitt has just taken 10th. Brad Ronning in 11th. John Barry in 12th. Zach Price in 13th. John Brancaccio now up into 14th. Dean Buck in 15th. Paul Jr. in 16th. Justin Schultz in 17th. And Schultz is back on the lead lap. But that car is heavily damaged and just can't maintain the pace the front guys are running. Gotta give credit, Schultz has kept coming back all night long despite being caught up in everything. 5 laps to go. Riley has just over a half second on Brandon. Andrew Thornton in 3rd as Zachary Mead and Richie Joplin right on his bumper. Mead looks like he may try and make the move up top. That is allowing David Lux to get closer and closer. As soon as they get side by side, Lux will be there. Meanwhile, Riley Duncan is coming into lap traffic. That could be a problem. The lap car stays high, lets the leader by clean. Riley leads them through 3 and 4. And here we go. 2 laps to go at Myrtle Beach. Riley Duncan looking for his third win of the season and looking to extend his points lead here. Brandon Kaiser in second has had one heck of a run, but hasn't been able to get to Riley, and the white flag flies one more time around. Richie Joplin dives underneath, trying to move into fourth. Zachary Meade holding him off on the high side, but out of turn 4, Riley Duncan wins at Myrtle Beach in dominant fashion. Hey, good evening, Russell. Brandon Kaiser comes home in second, Andrew Thornton in third, and Richie Joplin did manage to get to fourth. And let's talk to our top 3, starting with Andrew Thornton. Andrew, impressive that you managed to come home in third. You took a pretty big hit early on.
Yeah, I guess it must just be the Camaro versus the Monte Carlo. It's just kind of, shaped like a cow catcher, moves them out the way.
Apparently so. It was definitely a wild and bumpy night, but you managed to get up in the top 3 pretty quickly and just hide there.
Had a decent heat race, started towards the front, and was able to keep going after that first caution, and just kind of had to play defense because I definitely didn't have anything for Riley, and when I tried to fight with Kiger, we were so evenly matched. I was just burning off the right sides, trying to stay underneath him.
Well, man, it was one heck of a run and been a heck of a season so far. Back on the podium, congratulations.
Yep, thanks, Doug. We'll see you on Saturday this week.
Yep, sure will. Brandon Kaiser coming home in second. Brandon, I have to say, you looked fast all night, and you were the only one that could maintain pace with Riley, just not enough to get there.
Just good run all in all. Didn't like anything about it in practice, and settled in and figured it out in practice or the heat race there, and then unfortunate look for the 08. I think it was number 104 got in a wreck, and then me and Riley are teammates, so we were just trying to get the starts down and get pulled away and then sort it out later, but so equal there. You can't really once somebody gets a car length on you, it's really hard to make that car length up if they don't make a mistake. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it definitely looked like you two were very, very even, and that gap just couldn't be closed.
Yeah, there at the end of the race, I mean, we were getting, it was thousandths going back and forth is how much I would gain on him, and he'd put 100th on me, I'd get 100th on him, and then that lap car, it didn't really help, just wrong place, wrong passing time for me there off of 2, and kind of threw our hopes at maybe getting there to him, but all in all, 1-2 finish for R&M Motorsports ain't too bad of a night.
Definitely not, man. Congratulations, one heck of a run.
Thank you, y'all have a great night.
And our winner once again, Riley Duncan. Riley back on top this week, and another dominant performance. You led every lap, and nobody could touch you.
I can't ask for much more. I'm real happy that my teammate finished right behind me, though, too. So that was definitely helping.
You definitely managed to get the restarts nailed perfectly, which allowed you to keep a gap between you and your teammate. And, man, he's the only one that could match your pace tonight. Everybody else was dropping back from you two.
The cars feel good. I know a lot of people were loose, but I don't know. To me and him, it felt really good. Like it stuck for us, and I can't really complain about it.
Well, man, you definitely had another great win, a dominant race. Richie fell back, so the points are going to get a little bit wider after tonight.
I think you get bonus points, too, for the pole. I'm not sure, 100%.
I believe so, yeah. So you're going to really extend it tonight.
Yeah, I'm happy. Should be just hopefully the next few races go good.
Well, so far so good, man. Great season and great win, buddy.
Thank you.
Riley Duncan wins in the street stocks. Folks, don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a few moments. They're going to pack up the street stocks, unpack the tour mods, and go at it again here at Myrtle Beach. Stick around, everybody.